Hello gamers, and welcome back to Solo Spelunking, and today we want to continue our solo RPG tutorial series where I use 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons to showcase the principles I talked about in my How to Get into Solo Gaming live stream in practice. And before we jump right back into the action, I want to take the time to comment on a comment I saw because there probably was some technical difficulties, because yesterday I saw a comment for a few moments, and one of the users, a guy from our community, he commented on me using or creating the tools I need to play for myself or by myself, and he pointed me to a couple of ready-made oracles and GM emulators like Mythic and Universal NPC Emulator and such. But I could not answer this comment because I got an error message for one server error, whatever. And when I looked again, the comment was gone. So if you're watching, of course, I do want to comment on your comment, and I would like to thank you for all of your suggestions. And of course, I know of all these supplements and I use them in my normal non-tutorial games, I would call them, and I've checked them out. But in my opinion, I think there might be a little bit, or they might be a little bit overwhelming if you're just starting out. When I know that when I first read Mythic, I really liked how they explained the process of solo role-playing with the principles of logic and interpretation, but the entire bookkeeping involved with NPC lists, threat lists, and chaos factor and scene changes, that was too much for me in the beginning. And this tutorial is targeted at an audience who are taking their first forays into solo gaming, and so I do not want to overwhelm them with a lot of very well thought out supplements, but instead focus on the principles of using the tools. Like, for example, what do I ask the Oracle, or when do I ask the Oracle stuff? And so thank you for your suggestions. And yes, of course, I do know of all these supplements and I own them all myself. And I've already in my channel introduced, for example, the Scene Unfolding Machine that you pointed out, and I'm also using the Mythic one-page GM emulator, but I also got the Mythic 2nd edition GM emulator, and I started reading the 1st edition. So I'm doing this on purpose, that I only use the bare minimums of tools in this tutorial to not overwhelm people just getting into solo gaming. So that is the reason for these tools that I use. But thank you for your comment, and thanks for watching. And I don't know what the technical issue is, why I don't see this comment anymore. Let's jump right back into the action. For those of you watching this episode as the first episode, so this is a tutorial aimed at people new to RPGs or new to solo RPG, and it sort of shows the showcase of how you actually could approach a gaming session. And it supplements or complements a live stream that I did on the subject that you also can find on my channel. So, but now we go back, jump right back into the action. So to get back into the mood, I will read the last 3 little entries that I did in my journal, so that we are all on the same page and that we are set in the scene. All right, so it takes me only a few moments to find the right potion. I slip it into my backpack and leave. To get to my inn, I use back alleys, rooftops, and jump over fences. And then I did a skill challenge, which I failed. As I jump over a small fence, I stumble directly into the arms of 2 city guards. They turn towards me. All right, so this is where we left off. So I'm in this situation. Guards, they turn towards me. So what I would do now again, imagine how the scene would evolve, progress, and put down a little blurb. And again, I can't stress this enough. The main goal or focus here is playing, not writing. I chose this format of journaling because for me this is the right amount of journaling and playing. It's got the perfect balance, 2 or 3 short sentences, then I play the scene, and then I write 2 or 3 more sentences. And if this is for you too much writing because you rather focus on playing, it is entirely up to you how much you journal or if you journal at all. And of course you could also just use buzzwords like could also just write down try to get back, failed skill challenge, encounter guards. That would be perfectly fine. So but now yeah, back into the action. I imagine how the scene progresses and I write it down and I read it to you, and then of course I'll explain some things. All right, so I just put down, hey you, what are you doing sneaking around this late? So now the guard addressed me, and if I play by myself without a camera, like I said, I do not talk to myself, I do not act out the dialogue. I maybe put down like this a starting sentence to set the scene of the conversation. Like, what are you doing sneaking around this late? So now I'll put down another little sentence what I apply to set the scene or the mood for this conversation, and then I will use interaction skills, as you will see. So I quickly think about what I reply, put it down, read it to you, and then make the checks. Alright, so now I put down, by the gods, you startled me. Don't worry, I mean no trouble. And then I whisper, put down whisper, I just visited my girlfriend. Now I need to get back to my wife. Unseen, you understand? And with that, I put this down, I slip him a coin. Alright, and I slip him a coin. So what I will do now is I will do a deception skill check to see if they buy my story, because I have to admit I look a little bit strange with my dark cloak and my hood pulled into my face and a crowbar strapped to my back, but maybe they don't see it because of the cloak. So, but I will slip them also a coin, and now I will see if they are open for a bribe, or if this might even hurt me. But I think it's pretty likely they're open for a bribe, because it's like a standard cliche. So I use the D6 oracle, and I'll roll 2d6 and use the higher result. So are they open for a bribe? 5 is yes, because I used the higher result, and no event, because no one on the event die. All right, so yeah, they take the coin, or one of them takes the coin. So I lose another gold coin. And now I still need, however, to make a deception check. However, because they're open for a bribe and they took my coin, I will set the DC not that high. I say it's a DC 12, so I just put down deception DC 12 in my journal. And you know what? I will also grant myself advantage because of the bribe. So this might, if this sounds too easy for you, this is just to add some tension. I can still fail. Remember, always give yourself a chance to fail, and it is entirely up to you how you would handle this, because it's only you playing, so it's your fun, and there's no wrong way to play as long as you have fun. So I know my luck. I can still fail. So I'm doing a deception check. I got +3 with advantage, and I need a 12. So let's see. Whew, lucky me. So with advantage, I rolled a 10. +3 is 13. So I barely make it. So yeah, I imagine a scene, put it down, and then I read it to you. So bullet point. All right, so I put down, they take the coin. One of them wishes me luck. However, the other one seems not convinced, but they let me go. So here, because I only barely passed with a 13, I added this little flourish. You never know, it might come back later to haunt you or not. Like I said, just to set the scene or set the tone, and it is entirely up to you how you deal with these things. So now I arrive at my inn, at my room. I enter, and the next day I will deliver the potion that I stole to my contact. So now I don't need to, like if I would be playing by myself without explaining to you, I would not yeah, put down now every step, like, okay, I reach my inn, I climb in, I go to sleep. I would just, or I will just write a short blurb summarizing this event or these events, and I will continue when I deliver the potion. So I imagine how this would go. Put it down here, so read it to you that you can see, and then talk a little about it. Alright, so I put down, I reach my room without further incident, hide the potion under my bed and store my things. I meet Theo, my criminal contact, the next day at noon. Alright, so now the next decision point for me, or the next thing for me, would be to see if the exchange goes smoothly, if I do get what I was promised, and so I will also not act out this exchange. I will now ask the Oracle if I get the promised reward, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so I want to know, do I get the promised reward? And I think it's likely, because I've dealt with Theo in the past, and he always proved reliable, and I don't see why I shouldn't get my reward, but you never know. Alright, so it's double one, no end. Alright, and the end result enforces the no. So it's not only a no, but there's something else happening. And a good thing is, don't overthink it. Go with the first thing that comes into mind. And the first thing that came into my mind when I read no end was, no, not only do I not get what I was promised, but also it is a setup and guards want to arrest me, like in a hidden sting operation. And so why is that? Because they discovered that Theo is in some sort of involved in some sort of criminal activity, and they put pressure on him and forced him basically to work for them as an informant. So it's either you work for us or you go to jail. So he didn't have a choice, and he basically sold me out. So this this exchange actually now is a setup, and so we'll go from there. So this is what was the first thing that came into my mind, and then I will put it down, and then we'll see how it progresses. Alright, so I put down, I meet Theo and hand him the potion. Alright, now where's the money? I am sorry, there's no money. He takes a step back, and 4 guards, disguised as farmers, throw away their cloaks and want to arrest me. Alright, and this is the situation. And once again, if this is too much journaling for you, don't do it. Just put down, setup, ambush, arrest attempt. or whatever is enough for you to spark your imagination, to keep your thoughts in the story. Another comment was on the first video, daydreaming with a little extra steps. Nice. And yeah, this is basically why I think it is not really daydreaming, because yeah, it is, you're imagining a thing as you would playing with a group, but instead of the GM explaining the situation to you and you explaining because you don't want to talk to yourself, maybe you do, but you don't have to, I put it down so that I keep my thoughts in the story, that it is not daydreaming, wandering off into different directions. But you got to find your own balance between playing and journaling. This is a very individual process. I can't stress this point enough, because this was what I struggled with the most when I started to find the right way to play, if you want to call it that. And there is no right way to play. The right way is the way you have fun. All right, but now let's get into the action. So now I'll use, like I said, my that I showed to you, my battle grid, and it is in a clear document sheet, and I got wet erase markers. So let's sketch out a little market scene here. Let's say we met at the market where there's a lot of people. So there are some market stalls here. Here's another one. And let's say here are some barrels. Put a B in there for barrels. There's another barrel here. And there's some refuge lying around here, which is difficult terrain. And this is me. And I said I don't want to use any fancy things. Quick setup is what is important here. So I take my grab and go kit and just take out 4 generic board game pawns. And I also use 4 different colors. So, and I will disregard Theo because he took a step back. So one guy was here, one guy was here, or let's see if there's maybe also a female. I don't want it all to be guys. So I'm rolling 4 dice, and even as female. So let's see. All right, so we got 1 female, that's the orange one, and she seems to be some sort of leader. So she commands the other ones, and these are guards. So now combat. Combat is tricky playing 5th edition if you only play a solo character. So what you need to do is, in order to have a chance, if you don't want to have to adjust the encounters too much and make it too unrealistic, like for example it would be unrealistic if there would be only 1 guard trying to arrest me. They would try to have a numbers advantage. So you need to buff your character. This is also one thing you need to do when you play a game balanced for a party, or a system balanced for a party solo. You got to buff your character. There's no way around it. And there are different ways to do this. There's one good supplement that I will link in the description. It's called Solo Adventurer's Guide, Legendary Creatures or Legendary Characters, and I will link it to you in the description. You can pick it up on DriveThruRPG, and this is a very elaborate method to buff your character. It's well thought out, but I recommend you use it if you're a little bit more familiar, because also it's not free, but it's only like $2, and I here want to focus on free stuff. So that the barrier for entry is very low. And a free supplement that I will also link in the description is called Blackstream Solo Heroes by Kevin Crawford. And even though I can't use it as it is, because it's geared towards old school systems which are a little bit different with hit dice and ability modifiers and such, the core principle basically to buff your character are two things. You have to decrease incoming damage towards your character, and you have to increase your damage output to compensate for the lack of other party members. And this is what I will be doing using the principles of solo heroes in this case, and I will reduce incoming damage. So I made this little table right here, so I will divide the incoming damage by 5, rounding up, and I made this little table here. So if, for example, a guard would deal 8 points of damage, I would only take 2 points of damage. But this is only incoming damage. I would deal damage as normal. So that would be buff number 1. I will decrease the incoming damage, otherwise my 12 hit points as a solo character would be depleted pretty fast. And the other thing is I need to increase my damage output to compensate for the lack of a party member. And what I decided to do is I will just give myself 2 turns in a combat round. And I got this idea from watching a video of Dragonbane. There are some solo rules included. I haven't had a chance to take a look at the game yet myself. And there, if you play a solo hero, you get 2 initiative cards. And also to accelerate the process and to speed up the process, what I did, I decide I will use pre-calculated initiative for my hero and just roll for the enemies and slot them in the order. So to determine my initiative values, I assumed I roll an 11, so a little above average, and add my dex modifier. So my initiative count would be 14, and then I decided I get another initiative turn at 3 points lower, so at 11. So I will act in a combat round at 14 and at 11, and the enemies, they will be slotted in between. I will roll for their initiative and make up their stats in a moment. And this is how I will be handling the fact that I am not with a party, to give my character a little more breathing room, to buff him a little. And a more sophisticated way would be to use the legendary character supplement that I will link. And these principles I got from Blackstream's Solo Heroes that I will link. So you could check these out for yourself. But the key important message here is, if you play a system geared for a group solo with a single character, you need to buff your character. Otherwise, you will not have a chance. All right, so let's get some guard stats ready. Guards, and they will all have the same stats. And just for simplicity's sake, they will have 10 in every ability, so no modifiers. They wear a chain shirt, so they got AC 13. They are level 1 or 1 hit die, and they have a proficiency bonus of +2 for whatever weapon they're using. No ability modifier, so it's a +2. And I rule they will use clubs or batons. They want to deal non-lethal damage. They want to subdue me, so they will deal 1d6 non-lethal because they want to subdue me. And they all have 1d8 hit points, and I'm using the average. They will have 5 hit points, and they have an initiative modifier of 0 because I said their abilities are all 0. So now I only need to roll once for their group initiative, and then I slot them in between my 2 initiative counts. All right, so they have a 9. So the initiative order would be, put it down here, would be 14, that's me, 11, that's me, and 9, that's the guards. All right, so, and this is the situation. So I'm jumped by these guards and they want to arrest me. I quickly assess the situation, try to find an escape route, and I also do not want to to kill the guards, because I do not want to be a wanted and looked for murderer, and they're only doing their job. So I decide I will fight unarmed with unarmed strikes, and I looked it up. An unarmed strike deals 1 plus strength modifier damage, so that'll be 3 points of damage. And now, yeah, I got, I can move and also make an action. And of course, I want to escape. So actually, this could be over pretty quick, because I see an escape route. I can't move through here because of attacks of opportunity, threatened squares. Also, I can't move through here, but I can move up here. However, there's a barrel there, but still I can use this way. So what I will do, yeah, I will just make a run for it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can easily exit the map, and I got another turn. So now this actually is over pretty quick in this format, and now it will turn into a chase. So just because you set up in combat encounter does not necessarily mean it's gotta be a combat encounter. It can always develop into something else. And here, just from the setup, and this is good why it is, or this is why it is sometimes good to just have some sort of small tactical representation. I basically found a way to escape. And now I'm once again implementing my skill challenge mechanic. So we don't need this anymore, at least not for the moment. Just put this aside for a second. I write a little blurb and I set up the skill challenge. All right, so I put down, I have to think quick. There's an opening. I dash for an opening that I see in their lines. They're too slow to react. It takes them a moment, then they give chase. All right, and now I just put down skill challenge. Check, use the skill challenge. And I will use, this time I will use, of course, athletics. I will use acrobatics, because it's like a parkour thing. I will, of course, also use stealth, but I will also use insight, because, yeah, I wanna, or I have to choose the right path in split seconds to not maneuver myself into a dead end. Also, I have to basically try to assume where they want to go, and so this will be the skill challenge. And the DC I will set at 14, and this is because I will use a base of 10, and I'll add 1 for every guard, and there are 4 guards chasing me, so the DC is 14 for all these skills. And also this time I will need 4 successes because there are 4 guards, before I have the usual 3 failures. So in my skill challenge rules that I ported over from 4th edition, it is always 3 failures. So this is a set value, and the number of successes depends on the difficulty, but usually for me it's someplace always between 3 and 5 successes. I rarely use more than 5 successes. This is basically the standard. And yeah, I make these skill checks all in a row, and if I fail a check, I have to repeat this check until I pass before I can move on to the next skill. So now there's a chase scene. It is noon, it is a bustling city, Neverwinter, and I just, you can just imagine this like an historical action movie like Three Musketeers or whatever. So this is exactly what this is. A guy running from the guards in a crowded city, jumping over carts, tipping over barrels and baskets, and just think Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, when he was in Egypt, and oh no, that was Marion, I think, no, when she tried to escape. So this is basically the mental picture I paint in my head, the scene, and now let's do the skill checks. The first one is athletics. I got a +4. First failure. So I got to do athletics again. $17, that's a success. Now I move on to acrobatics. There I got a +5. 6 + 5, 11. Second failure. So they're gaining on me. I'm starting to panic a little. I see them gaining on me. Doesn't seem like I can get anywhere. We've got to do acrobatics again. Jumping over fences and dodging carts. It's a 13 + 5. That's a success. Second success. Now I need to use stealth. Also not that bad. I got a +5. But I still need 2 successes, so I managed to evade 2 of the guards, but 2 are hot on my tail. 19, that's good, that's a success. But now it's insight, and I do not have insight. It is wisdom +1, so I only got a +1. So I got a pretty high chance to fail this thing now. Please give me a good roll. Failure, 5. All right. So now I will interpret it as this. I said I need 1 success for every guard. So these were the guards that I evaded. But now I managed to maneuver myself into a corner, into a dead end, and I'm still facing 1 guard. So there's an opening or a fence I could climb over, but I will not make it with this guard there because I can climb and protect myself against this guard. So now I'll set up a different little scene, and I will try to subdue this guard to escape. So I'm using the battle grid again, and this is why it's 2-sided. So I don't waste time erasing the first thing, and now just say, all right, it was like this. I was just coming around this corner here when I maneuvered myself. So this is a fence. Let's assume this is a fence. There's some backyard here, and I came around this corner. And all right, damn, fence and the guard. Let's say if it's, or see if it's the female. Even. No, it's one of the male guards. He comes around the corner, so I turn to face him, and this is the setup. All right, so he's standing in front of me with his baton, and I'm there, and I am still determined not to kill this guy because he's doing his job. I just want to get away. So we're doing initiative again. I already established their stats. You know how I'm doing combat, so I'm sure that I will be able to subdue this guy, but we will see. Let's do initiative. And he's got an initiative of 3. So I just changed this 9 here into a 3. I can use the same initiative track. So it'll be my turn, and then the guard's turn. And I want to subdue him and use unarmed strikes. So I take my move and I go 1, 2. 1, 2. So diagonal counts 1 in 5th edition. And I hit him. I try to hit him unarmed strike. I'm a fighter, so I'm proficient with simple weapons and unarmed strikes you are proficient with. So it's a +4 attack. And I don't need a damage die because it's a flat 3 points of damage. But it's a 3. I miss. But now, that was my initiative count 14. Now it's my turn again, initiative count 11. So I'm still in position. So he blocked the first strike. And the second one I rolled a 2. So that's a failure as well. So now it is his turn, the guard's turn. And he's got a baton. And I'm rolling the damage die with the to hit die, and he attacks with +2 and against my AC of 15. And of course he hits. He rolls a 16, so 1, and 1 is 1. It would be also 1, so I take 1 point of damage. So I'm at 11 hit points, and now we don't re-roll initiative in 5th edition. We just keep this order. So now it is my first turn again, and I try to hit him with an unarmed strike. And I do. I roll a 16, so that's 3 points of damage. So I managed to land a hit. And so he's at 2 hit points. Oh, he's got a bloody nose. And now my second initiative turn, 11. I try to hit him again. 14, yes, so another 3 points of damage. So he's unconscious. So yeah, a quick skirmish. So yeah, I tried to block his baton, but still he hit me in the side. I can feel the air going out of my lungs for a second, but then I regain my composure and quick combination. He goes down with a bloody nose. And I managed to climb over this fence and get away. All right. So I summarize this little combat in a small scene. Alright, so I put down. As I turn around a corner, there's a dead end. One guard is still on my tail. I turn around. A brawl erupts. I take a hit but manage to knock him out. Quickly, I jump the fence and disappear. Alright. So, this will be it for this second video in my tutorial series. So, yeah. I hope you get something out of it and picked up some new things you could do, like buffing a character or how to set up skill challenges. And like I said, I will link all the sources that I mentioned here in the video description, like the solo heroes or legendary character supplements. And yeah, join me in the next video of this tutorial series, where I will be getting some random quests from the notice board and maybe do some dungeon crawling, so that you can also see how I would do this, how I implement this, and then we'll go from there. So thanks again. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. I'm over 300 subscribers now. I'm very happy. Thanks for your comments. I do like to interact with you. And yeah, I hopefully see you in the next video, and if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel, because it costs you nothing and it brightens my day. As always, stay safe and stay healthy, and bye bye.